Very good afternoon to you and welcome to In Focus with Silvana Pavlovska. Today is the 11th of April, 2024. And we are continuing our series on the Macedonian question, in particular the scholarly paper by Professor Dr. Igor Janev titled The PRESPA Agreement as Cultural Genocide of the Macedonian National Identity. Chapter 4, page 191. I would like to show you the paper. Here we go. So, page 191, and we're going to continue with the paragraph which starts with recently in 2021, says the Professor Igor Janev, in accordance with the Tirana platform. Tirana platform is the Albanian, Great Albanian concept. Aiming to divide Macedonia, Zaev's government has organized popular census with the designation of nationality placed in the ballots to measure the percentage of ethnic national groups and their national distribution. Unlike other countries, Zaev's administration created a rule that even non-residential population living in other countries may participate in the process of this popular census. This decision was brought under the Albanian influence and sort of forceful pressure and or conditioning, that is brainwashing. I think Professor wants to say brainwashing, and noticeably all the Albanian population, even from abroad, was called to participate in this census. That is incredible, isn't it? On the other hand, most of the ethnic Macedonians were largely disappointed with the new despised name, and it was a despised name of the state, the name of Republic of North Macedonia. That is an insult to the Macedonian people. At the ballot forms with a deterrent formulation of the Macedonian ethnic community instead of nationality, which is Macedonian. According to the Daily Republika, the Albanian parties pushed for taking into account a non-residential population, a quotation, demand the counting of the diaspora along with the residents in order to inflate the Albanian population numbers, resident population numbers, and Zaev accepted their demands. Amazing. That man used to accept and agree to all sorts of things from the Albanians, who are, by the way, they're not in Albania, they're in Macedonia, and they're never recognized that they are in Macedonia or that they are Macedonian. No, not surprisingly, Bulgaria supported such a strange census methodology of counting non-residential populations, and sent the message to all the Bulgarians in the North Macedonia that they, in quotation, did not have to be afraid to declare themselves as Bulgarians as last time, end of quote. According to previous statistics back in 2002, less than 1.5% of all the population declared themselves as Bulgarian. As for the Vrmerod DPMNE party, they warned the Macedonian people that the administration is planning a fake and illegal popular census, and that all related to this census was not a statistical, but rather a political operation aimed to decrease the percentage of the ethnic Macedonian population in the total population of the country. The alliance between the Albanian parties, or the Albanian factor, as they are referred to also in Macedonia, and the Bulgarian factor were more than evident in this case. As a result of the Albanian campaign, For the first time, there was a massive response in the Albanian diaspora, including those living in Kosovo, which is a separate country altogether, as is Albania. So there you have it, you know. People from foreign countries allowed to have a say in what happens to Macedonia. Yeah, so, and the renaming and the numbers of the peoples residing there. So as a result of this campaign that Zaev's government did, for the first time, we have people participating in huge numbers, people who represent the Albanian diaspora, you know, people in Australia, people in America, wherever they are, in Europe, in the United Kingdom, and so on, including Kosovo and Albania, for the census, the turnout, and on the other side, I boycott by the ethnic Macedonians or the Macedonian people who are the owners of the Macedonian country and state, including the Macedonian diaspora. So they boycotted it. Finally, the United States of America warned the leader, Christian Mickovski from VMRO-DPMNE, to prepare the ethnic Macedonian population to participate in the census. Wow. So the United States of America intervenes as well. And not only do they intervene, but they actually issue a warning to the leader of the largest patriotic party in Macedonia to prepare the Macedonian population to take part in the census, really. Since the policy of VMRO-DPMNE was to recognize the census of the resident population only. At the end, after diplomatic pressures from the Western allies, you know who they are, partners and blackmails from the Albanian opposition parties, the leader of VMRO-DPMNE, Mickovski, called all Macedonians to participate in the census. Well, I don't know whether that was a wise decision. Honestly, you know, why let others outside the country interfere, including the United States of America? And of course, the others, you know, the Bulgarians, the Hellenic Republic, the Kosovo, the Albanians. Why? I mean, can't they mind their own businesses? Still, the ethnic Macedonians didn't fully accept his call, and more than 15% of the ethnic Macedonians didn't participate in that census. Almost no one from the diaspora, from here, from Australia, nobody almost, despite the striking provocations and threats from the Minister of Justice, B. Maricic. Now, this guy, Maricic, is not Macedonian either. He is of Serbian background. Nevertheless, he represents the Communist Party in Macedonia, the SDSM, and that's currently in power still. So Maricic had been threatening people and provoking people, most inappropriate behavior by the look of things. But he is a bully, as most of you may have seen him on television, and he also is confused about which country he is representing. Certainly not Macedonia. People who refuse to participate in the census or boycott the process. Basically, the citizens were under legal obligation to participate, or if abstaining, boycotting, refusing participation, they would be fined. Well, that is totally unacceptable because there's no legislation, to my knowledge, that fines will be issued to people who do not wish to vote in Macedonia. And I'm going on to the next page now and checking how much longer we've got. So basically the citizens were under legal obligation to participate, or if abstain, will be fined. That Zaev, from the beginning of his mandate, from the beginning, I beg your pardon, of his mandate, there's a typing error there, from the beginning of his mandate, supported Albania and Kosovo agenda for a great Albania. This is unbelievable that a prime minister of the Republic of Macedonia should be supporting the Albanian-Kosovo agenda for a greater Albania. It became apparently clear when he signed the unusual protocol for military and security, or SOFA, providing for the presence of Kosovo security and army forces in Macedonia. So in other words, letting the Kosovo and the security and army forces to be present in Macedonia. Why? What was his mandate? I'm sure people didn't vote for him to let foreign countries, military and security forces to be part to be allowed to come into Macedonia. What was the reasoning behind that? How did that happen? According to the analysts, this treaty was against the UN policy regarding the application of the UNSC Resolution 1244 of 1999, and particularly limitation of such security forces, KBS, to the territory of Kosovo. Under Resolution UN Security Council 1244, Kosovo was allowed to form a protection corps, but not an actual military force, or KBS. In 2018, Kosovo decided to upgrade the status of their police corps with tacit support from its Western partners, that is France, Germany. Yeah, but the status of the military transformation, or the European Union, as they call themselves nowadays, but the status of the military transformation remained disputed. Not surprisingly, this new SOFA arrangement between Zaev and Kosovo Prime Minister Kurti was signed during the sensitive political period of popular census processes scheduled to be finished by 30th of September 2021. Now, this is during the COVID period. So all these agreements, treaties were signed, letting other foreign forces, military and otherwise, to have a presence in Macedonia. Why? Was Macedonia under some threat, or was it because of the support of the Tirana platform, that is Kosovo, Albania, Greater Albania, so that they can take control of the country, or, yeah, without much opposition from the people of Macedonia. Moving on to, meanwhile, a major crisis started between Kosovo's administration and Serbia over the license plates that could provoke a new Balkan instability. This crisis, temporary, ended by reaching a deal between Serbia and Kosovo's administration on the 30th of September on the registration plates, so that Kosovo Special Security Forces, Special Police called ROSU, withdrew from the border with Serbia that was under blockade for already 2 weeks. Meanwhile, on the 30th of September, the census, the popular census, or the people census in Macedonia ended, in quotation, successfully, according to the Justice Minister Maricic. But apparently with the fraudulent result, as the number of Macedonian inhabitants was almost equal to the number of registered voters. This story about popular census only demonstrated that the huge majority of ethnic Macedonians did not accept the new name of the country, and that the Albanian plans for territorial division of Macedonia, presumably with Bulgaria, was the too idealistic and presently an unrealistic plan for both countries. Namely, the strategy was to build or to increase the percentage of Albanians in Macedonia so that it is above 30% in order to push the creation of federal units in the Macedonian system with the legal capacity to leave the loose confederation, using the example of Kosovo model and its separation from Serbia. For preventative reasons, SOFA protocol for military presence of Kosovo Kosovo army was a clear indication that Kosovo and Albania made a plan to control the western part of Macedonia's territory. The Bulgarians supported the idea that the Macedonian state was only a temporary or provisional entity in the process of dissolution, and therefore planned a long-term strategy to gain all parts of the eastern and central Macedonian territory after the successful process of cultural assimilation. The only obstacle to the implementation of those strategies was apparently the weakened position by Zaev's political coalition, particularly after the failed promises of the EU integration and complete debacle in the negotiations with Bulgaria over the identity for which the party DUI, that is the Albanian party, blamed Zaev himself. Meanwhile, the economic standard of average citizens is remarkably low. It went very low, and the Social Democrats Party suffered from, well, there were many resignations. And as for the plans of Albania and Bulgaria to divide the Macedonian territory, it seems to me, says Professor Dr. Igor Janev, that the strategies from both countries haven't considered very seriously two important security variables. First, a dissolution or division of Macedonia as a state may not go peacefully, taking into consideration the previous Balkan history and spectra of regional interests. Namely, both the Albanians and the Bulgarians will not easily make a deal what part of territory belongs to the other country. And second, even more important, there's no predictability how Kosovo and Serbia may react to the imminent challenges and dangerous situations stemming from Greater Albania and Great Bulgaria. Yeah, so I think we should end it here, and there'll be one more part after this one, and we will complete the all of chapter 4, which we have been covering for a period of time now. So thank you. And let's come back to me for a moment. Thank you for your attention today. We thank Professor Igor Janev for allowing us to publish the English version of his publication, the PRESPA Agreement, as cultural genocide of the Macedonian national identity towards the termination of an illegal treaty, which was published late 2023. That was last year. So you've been listening to In Focus with Silvana Pavlovska, broadcasting from Melbourne, Australia, on this very day, the 11th of April, 2024. I shall look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.